Welcome to the ZwebackHD Champions League draw reaction video. Before we get started on this video, I want to say something, and I don't think I've ever meant something as much in my entire life.
I love football.
Press F in the chat for Slavia Praha. I'm buying a Slavia Praha kit. I don't think I've ever felt more connected to a club in my entire life. And I'm announcing on this video, August 29th, 2019, that I will be supporting Slavia Praha during the Champions League. What's happening, boys, and welcome to the Champions League draw reaction episodia. This isn't going to be a live reaction. This is going to be me reacting to some of my thoughts of all the groups. They've all been settled. All the groups have been matched up right now. We've had some really fun things happen in this Champions League broadcast. It's now over. We've had Virgil van Dijk win the defensive Virgil van Dijk winning the UEFA Player of the Year award, which I think is 100% deserved. Frenkie de Jong gets himself the UEFA Midfielder of the Year, and then Messi gets himself the Attacker of the Year award. So right off the bat, I'm going to bounce that out to you guys. Do you think any of those were undeserved? Do you think any of those were more than likely deserved? I don't think there's any debate about it. Virgil van Dijk, I think Player of the Year award is definitely something that I feel like he deserves. You could tell everyone in the room just was very, very happy for him. Specifically, Virgil van Dijk was very happy. All the Dutch guys were very happy for Frenkie de Jong getting it because he was absolutely brilliant in the last Champions League. Now, there were a few interesting things that happened in this Champions League draw, namely the Eric Cantona speech.
We are for the goats.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And wars.
Which I still think people are going to try and decipher. It sounded like something that would be at the beginning of like a Terminator. Like, you know, in the beginning of like sci-fi movies where there's like an epic speech over like a barren wasteland and like a nuclear explosion had just gone off or something. That's what I feel like that Eric Cantona speech would have been better suited for, and not a Champions League, whatever the hell. I don't even know what he won. The President's Award? What even is that? We are gathered here today to react to this Champions League draw. Question of the Epi is, if your team, if you guys do have a team that you support, are you happy? Try that one more time. Question of this episode is, if you guys do support a club, if you guys do have a team, let me know how you feel your chances are of getting out of the group stage. Do you feel like you were hosed? If you're Manchester City, of course you feel like you probably came. I mean, that's the elephant in the room. They are going to, without a shadow of a doubt, I'm pretty sure like the betting odds on it are like 99%. They will be making it out of their group. But that is going to be the question of the episode. If you guys do support a team, what do you feel about your team's draw? If you guys do enjoy this episode, I know it's not FIFA, but if you guys do enjoy something, you know, mixing it up every now and again with a little, with a video here and there that's not FIFA, drop a like on the video. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. But the reason that we are here, and like I said, we are gathered, and we're going to start with A to discuss some of these Champions League draws. Now, Group A has Paris, Real Madrid, and that is pretty much that's the end of the group. That's pretty much where it's going to end there, unless Galatasaray, unless something insane happens in one of the Paris or Madrid fixtures. I just don't envision a scenario where Galatasaray or Club Brugge, unfortunately, go through. I just don't see that happening. So PSG, Real Madrid, I'm going to slot those two for going through. Now, the Neymar deal is going to be interesting because it looks like Neymar is I've seen a couple confirmed accounts on Twitter saying that the Neymar deal is all but done. So he could be leaving. So what is PSG going to look like without Neymar? Going to be an interesting little bit of a development there. So that's going to be one to closely monitor. Real Madrid, obviously, Hazard there now, bunch of new signings. So I think Madrid are going to be the favorite to be the top seed in that group. Group B started off really crazy with Bayern and Tottenham. Weren't they in the same? No, they weren't in the same group last year, but they've been in the same group a couple times, if I'm not mistaken. So Bayern and Tottenham, why am I saying it like, I'm saying it like I'm from Bayern right now. Olympiacos, just don't see it happening. Crvena Zvezda, don't see that happening as well. An unfortunate drawing for the two of them, but that's Champions League, right? I mean, I suppose it's better. Here's an interesting question. Would you rather be like an Olympiacos or a Crvena Zvezda and be grouped into, and be thrown into a group with Bayern and Tottenham? Or would you, I mean, I don't know. That's a pretty easy answer. I was about to say, would you rather be a Slavia Praha, and then be in a group with three other teams that are so clearly favored over you? Or would you rather have, I guess less competition, so I guess I answered my own question there. But yeah, I see Bayern and Tottenham going through as well, obviously. Group C, there's really even no reason to talk about this. Shakhtar Donetsk, Dynamo Zagreb, and Atlanta all are going to be in the running to finish second in that group. And then Manchester City, I just see this being a group that they absolutely run away with, and I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. It's probably the easily the easiest group. And it just seems like every year Man City just get that break and just get an absolutely just get such an easy road to the round of 16. Group D, in my opinion, when it was Juve, Atletico, and Leverkusen, I was gonna pronounce that the group of death, but then Lokomotiv Moskva got thrown in there, and I think they're probably going to be taking a Lokomotiv out of the group. It's going to be a tough one though, because like Juventus, who knows? Are they shaking a little bit from what happened last in Champions League? I mean, I'm sure they're going to fix up and they're going to be ready for it and that sort of thing. Atletico, a little bit of a new look, right? They've got João Felix. Is he ready for that Champions League stage? And then Leverkusen, obviously Kai Havertz. I'm wearing a Bayer Leverkusen kit right now, so I guess I'm a little bit biased. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do like a little bit of a bold prediction. I'm going to say Juve and maybe Leverkusen. I could envision a scenario where Juve and Leverkusen go out. Again, Atletico, Juventus and Atletico are the two teams that are favored to probably go through there. But I'm going to show a little bit of Bundesliga love. Going to show my Bayer boys a little bit of love as well. I'm going to predict maybe Juve and Leverkusen get out of that one. So Group D, so far, the most group of death type. I mean, it is Group D, the most group of death out of the first four, 100%. And then we go over to Group E, which is an interesting one. Liverpool and Napoli. I feel like they were in the same group last year, unless I'm mistaken. We've got Salzburg, which, if you just looked at the logo, you could maybe confuse it for Leipzig, but it is not. Salzburg and Genk are probably getting bounced out of there. Liverpool and Napoli probably going to comfortably get out of that, unless Napoli have an absolute mare. They got Chucky Lozano, so he's going to be a new signing for them. And then Liverpool, they're going into Champions League with about as much confidence as a team can, obviously having won the entire thing. So Liverpool, Napoli, the order's already fixed pretty much for me, so I'm going to predict that Liverpool and Napoli get out. Now, Group F is going to be a very interesting one. Barca, in my opinion, and I know my Premier League supporters and anyone else is going to kind of have an issue with this, but I think Barcelona might just be the favorites to win this Champions League. It just feels like it's their turn. Real Madrid obviously are up there as well, but Griezmann looks incredible. Messi, when Barcelona hit full throttle and they're running on all cylinders, I think they're going to be a very difficult team to stop. And even in a tough group like that, I see them going through. Dortmund, don't really know how to place them. And then Inter, interesting little new look. They got themselves Lukaku. They got themselves Alexis Sanchez. He arrived in Milan yesterday. So that's going to be interesting to see how that one pans out. But then the star of Champions League and probably the most interesting take that I saw on Twitter is Slavia Praha. When they panned, it was Petr Cech that did the drawing, and when they panned to it wasn't the manager, but I think it was one of the owners or a representative for Slavia Praha. When they panned to him and he did that little laugh, I mean, he knows they know what's up. They're in a group that they're not going to get out of, but they're in a group where they're going to give their fans 3 really great games, right? So Barcelona, Dortmund, Inter, they're going to have, 3 of the biggest clubs, arguably top 4, top 5 clubs in some of the biggest leagues in Europe come to their grounds and witness some really, really incredible. Messi and Griezmann and Suarez and all of them are going to be coming to Slavia Praha. So it's a win-win for Slavia Praha. I mean, I don't think they have any ambition of winning the Champions League, but, and again, don't take any disrespect to that. And I should say also, I will be rooting for Slavia Praha during Champions League. So in my opinion, a really, really cool group, Group F. Arguably, I would say that's probably group of death right there in terms of the top 3. Such a tough top 3 in terms of Barcelona, Dortmund, and Inter. Now, Group G is where it gets interesting. Group G is, and in my opinion, maybe an unpopular opinion, one of the group of deaths. We've got Zenit, we've got Benfica, Lyon, and Leipzig. On their best day, any of those teams are very, very dangerous. Obviously, Benfica, 2 Champions League trophies in their history. Skills will enjoy that I pointed that out. Zenit, don't really know how they've been lately, to be honest with you. Lyon and Leipzig, obviously, though. So those 3 clubs, Benfica, Lyon, and Leipzig, very good clubs. Zenit, not a shabby club at all as well. So that could be maybe the Tesco group of death, like the group of death express, if you will. So Group G, I'm going to say, I'm going to say Benfica and Lyon get out. Benfica and Lyon get out, even though I could see it's so tough to call it, but like I could envision a scenario where Lyon and Leipzig get out, or maybe Benfica and Leipzig. So that one could really go either way. And then Group H, which if Pepe was still at Lille, this is an interesting group, right? Because Valencia had a couple of guys leave. Ajax obviously had Frenkie de Jong leave, a bunch of guys. Chelsea had Hazard leave, and then Lille had Pepe leave. So if these teams were the teams that they were last year, I think it'd be a little bit more competitive. Maybe it's even more competitive now. I think each of these teams, Ajax won the Eredivisie. Valencia came in 4th in La Liga. Lille, I believe, was top 5, and then Chelsea was finished 3rd on the Premier League table. So Group H, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, maybe unpopular opinion, I'm going to go ahead and say Group H is the group of death, and I'm going to go ahead, and because Ajax have that confidence, you know, obviously they made it so far last year, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say Ajax and Chelsea make it out of the group. And I know that's a little bit unpopular just because Chelsea hasn't been in the greatest of form, but I think as the year goes on, they get a little bit better. I'm going to say Chelsea, Ajax, but I could envision a scenario where Valencia and Ajax get out as well. And then Lille, I believe, have made a couple of good signings. They lost Pepe, but then there were a couple, was it Onyekuru and some other, and a couple other guys went to Lille. So I don't know. I don't write Lille off just yet. But just my first glances, my first thoughts on the Champions League draw. Again, I think Group G, Group H, and Group G, Group H, and Group D for the group of death, and then Slavia Praha. I think Slavia Praha are the winners of the entire thing. Manchester City and Slavia Praha, the team that knows they're going to go through, and the team that knows that they have no chance of going through, but they've got Barcelona, Dortmund, and Inter coming to their grounds. But just a little bit of a different video here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed these absolutely incredible deep thoughts that we've just gone through on the Champions League draw, and going to be streaming over on Mixer, going to be doing some drafts, and maybe start a Slavia Praha career mode, Slavia Praha, or a Bury career mode. But like I said, boys, that's going to do it for my Champions League draw thoughts. You guys let me know if there's anything in here that I said that absolutely blew you away, or if there's anything in here that you want to add to the conversation and the flavor of the conversation. But like I said, boys, that's going to do it for the epi. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel, and I will catch you guys for another video tomorrow. Till next time, my bros, tschüss, later, ade.